ladies and gentlemen. An explosive start to our third match of the evening for ESEA Premier in Oceania. I'm Jim Nesso. Joining me is PDG. Pete, we have Alpha Sydney up against Darksided, a grudge match on Nuke, as you termed it.
Yeah, it is a grudge match, Jim. Of course, the Alpha Sydney guys used to be in the Darksided organisation. So, I mean, whenever you come up against a former organisation that you just moved from, it always feels like you need to prove a point one way or the other. The new team feels like they need to prove to the org that they made a good choice and going with them. The old team saying, like, you know, we made a good choice and we're worth it to our new org. So, you know, there's that element. There's element to spice it up because Lord knows we can only struggle through another round of poorly executed Nuke.
There you go. Apparently all the strats so far have been not to PDG's liking, but...
Have they been to your standard? Have they?
I'm not going to enter my my opinion into this one at all. I'm just saying they're out there, they're having a go. We'll give them a participation medal.
That says enough about the standard you think that they're at, my friend. Let's give them a medal for participation. Yes, I agree.
Why isn't that the accepted standard these days?
That's the Aussie schooling meta.
Yeah, true, actually. That's right. So, oh, well, you got in there, you had a go. You
had a crack, mate.
Last, but
have a gold ribbon that says participant.
I feel like we're tackling bigger issues than the
Australian education is a bigger issue, yes, than this particular match between Alpha Sydney and Darksided.
Yes, but looking at the two teams, who have you got, Pete? Who stands out for you between these two teams? Obviously, you've got the old guard in the Alpha Sydney guys who previously represented Darksided. You've got the new guard, a new batch of players that have come through formally under Grinny Bankers was their team name. They came through. I guess they've been around for some time actually, as an iteration, back from the ESL AU NZ Championships. Back in season 1, and have stuck the whole thing out, and they've really started to come into their own.
They have indeed, yeah.
And won the Zen League qualifiers and qualified for that.
I'd honestly pick them to win this game based on everything you just said, but Alpha Sydney has Buster, and we're playing online. There's no way Buster loses.
But is this an Orc map?
It doesn't matter. He'll have like 6 ping, and he'll destroy everybody.
True, the Sydney Optus cable clutch.
He lives next to every server. I don't know what it is. Just saying. He's unbeatable on the internet, is Buster. So
okay, so
I don't want to pick against just him alone. Will be enough.
It's also a grudge match too because M-Swag, former Grinny Banker / former Darksided. Well, he left Grinny Bankers as they became Darksided. So obviously it's a grudge match, and there's a few intricate stories there between even just some of the players, rather than just the whole org thing.
Yep.
So there's always a keenness there to beat former teammates and
for sure.
justify the decision you've made or that had been made outside of your hands to.
I think it was very much an MS Swag leaving Grinny Bankers, kind of Darksided, because he's really, really sharp. So I don't know exactly why you'd get rid of him, because I think he's got firepower for days. Not, an unrefined talent, and I think for his perspective, he'd learn a lot more from playing with the players he's playing with at the moment. It's the quickest route for him to get to the top, so to speak. But his teammates are, they stuck with it. They continue to battle hard, and they've got just rewards recently where they've risen to the top of the region, and thereabouts.
Well, that's right. They're about to play in the Zen League as well.
That's right.
So
they're going to be performed on land too.
Exactly. I think that was probably the biggest question mark over their head, was the fact that they'd never really been put, at least as a team, through that LAN environment. The LAN trials, as I guess they could be termed, and they stood up, and they played really well throughout the two matches that they played there. So you really can't fault Grinny Bankers.
Look,
and
I'd be picking Darksided.
Great pickup for that org.
I'd be picking Darksided no matter what, but Alpha Sydney has Buster.
I don't know if it's going to be a factor. I actually don't think he's going to get going with that org.
You don't know if Buster's going to be a factor online.
I think he is going to be. Well, let's put it this way: cancelled out.
Okay, yeah, I can feel that. Text is sharp online, but he's sharp on land too. So, this Darksided team for me, Jim, is the fruits of the labours
Longevity.
No, it's the fruits of the labours of like the previous guard of CS players. Like the fact that there's enough, regimented competition and structure in Australian CS finally after all these years that you can actually start a team, work your way through, and then get to the top of the scene. We've seen Tainted do it. We saw like the old Chiefs with Zuzi and Tux and Co. That group with Nova. They did it from sort of rags to riches story. Now Darksided have come from nowhere just 1 season ago. Yeah. Because, the structure's there for them to follow and they're cashing in. They're putting in the hard work. They're putting in the dedication and they're reaping the rewards.
That's probably an interesting point to note is the rags to riches story. These guys, Darksided, now have been around for some time.
Yep.
Longevity is proving to be, who'd have thought, a recipe for some success. So these guys are a testament to that.
But in early CSGO, there was a lot of teams with longevity, and there was just no tournaments. I remember back in the day, we struggled to get one nationals a year. Now,
particularly when we were still playing.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the year that I stopped playing, I think we had 5, and that was unheard of. And then the next year was just 8, 9, whatever there was available to the players. So it's really come full circle. And again, congrats to Darksided for putting themselves in the running to be in the Zen League and play there, extend themselves into ESEA, play the best teams in the country. And I guess this is where you end up when you put in that practice and you have the talent, because they certainly do have the talent.
That being said, I'm keen to see how they go on Nuke because, as you said, even though teams had been together for quite some time, they're still just not comfortable on this map yet.
Oh, mate, it'll be mediocre at best.
Okay, I hope that is not the case. I'm keen to see what Darksided do have to offer on Nuke.
I think that both of these teams are really, really good. I just don't think they're really, really good on Nuke. I don't think that we've discussed this the whole week of Nuke.
Play.
Yeah, but I mean, we've discussed this the whole week on Nuke. It's almost an extension of every team, because if one team was good at Nuke and other teams pracked that team, then everyone would get better at Nuke, right? By pracking the team who was good on Nuke. But because no one plays it at all, basically in scrims, you get to a situation where everyone's bad on it. And it's evident.
Guess we'll see how that pans out. But they have gone and just completed the knife round. CT side will belong to Darksided, as Alpha Sydney will find themselves on the tee. And looking at the utility, Cybe is going to be holding key for this round for Alpha Sydney. He's got that smoke flash combo and a P250 to boot as well. So obviously a plan coming to fruition here. Maybe just the old smoke annex hit topside.
I think that should be the case. Maybe straight down the vent. Maybe the smoke in front of the vent. No, it seems to be in front of the annex. You're spot on, but Badge spots one out, and it will be Buster. He's opening up already with that kill. Aries gets the second, and topside has been overrun. MS Swag looking at back, gets an instant kill there. Maybe make that 2. No, it's just the 1. No, it is the second. So MS Swag going huge against his former roster. Texter. Aim on point. He's a very, very sharp customer, is Texter.
Would you say he's more of a Sharpie than a Texter?
Yeah, Texters don't tend to be that sharp, to be honest.
Okay.
Doesn't have a kit, though. This is an exercise in how many frags he can get. He's off the bomb. He doesn't have a shot at it, but he's going to try and get the frags nonetheless. My goodness. Texter is on point, but Alpha Sydney end up with the pistol round. Buster there with the crucial opening pick. I knew he'd be a factor. Just knew it. Just knew it in my bones.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Guess we'll see how that pans out for the rest. Alpha Sydney, obviously buying into this one quite heavily with some SMGs. And I don't rate the Galil buy at the best of time, but they do have 2 rifles and 3 UMPs to boot, so very, very slow approach. Very much just waiting out the aggression. See if CTs just push and try and aggress through choke points.
Yeah, I guess the only reason you'd actually buy the Galil is if you actually really liked the Galil. It's got no advantage. It's not a good gun. It's not more effective than the UMP. But I guess if you like it and you think you're comfortable with it, then cool. But yeah, it's an awful weapon. It's just an awful weapon.
It's almost as bad as the FAMAS.
Yeah, at least the FAMAS has like a ridiculous rate of fire.
But this is such a slow round. Going back to the game, remember that thing's still going. Going back to the round.
Pistol armor though, Jim.
Yeah.
From
very slow.
Darkside.
Very, very slow from Alpha Sydney, though.
That grenade does about 6 damage to Flicks when it lands on top of his head at Rams. That's okay. Alpha Sydney grouping back up towards Rams. Texter firing away. That pop flash is going to be a little late, I think. But no, it's perfect. But he can't find the angle, and he'll live to fight another day. Flicks needs to do more from this position. Can he get one? He does. Can't transfer. Would have liked to have done a little bit better there, Flicks. But right now, Alpha just pouring into this unders bomb site and getting the kills. But this is looking good for Darksided. It's turned on ahead. And if the... oh, yes. Ooh. Bomb down. Sync. Picks up a second CZ kill. All of a sudden, this is turning very dark for Alpha Sydney.
They've only got 10 seconds left now, too, as Sync does get one, trying to collect that bomb. The smoke is fading fast, and he should be shot from both sides here, but M-Swag is still alive, and they're going to do the ring around the Rosie. Oh, boy, this is awkward.
Oh, my
He wins the round, though.
God.
Bass. Bass or Bass? I'm going to go with Bass.
Bass? I think so.
Just to intentionally annoy someone if they were called Bass.
My goodness. That was an absolute nightmare round for Alpha Sydney, who had control of the lower area but didn't check the window. Ended up giving away 3 frags to a CZ from different players. And it all went south of the border. But dearie me, we've seen some scrappy play on Nuke.
Oh,
the last few days. That FAMAS and UMP combo going to work. 3 versus 1 now. Bomb plant should come in from Aries, which would be a good get for his side. Does get the plant.
That's a good round for Alpha Sydney. Despite the fact that they were mopped, they got the bomb down for very, very little investment. So they will be able to get themselves some weaponry in the next. And Darksided hold on to 3 guns themselves. So actually, they bought into that with Tech 9 and armor. Their economy shot.
Yeah, they certainly did, and it was a good use of the rafters and the counter grenades there from Darksided, really slowing their progression down and creating that, I guess, elevated damage choke point with those extra grenades, and they just got chewed up coming in.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't rate the fast rush in that particular choke point. I always was more of a proponent of perhaps say a pop flash.
He's all about that base, Jim. Oh, yeah, Buster's not going to be Buster's not going to be a factor online. Crazy. Can you check his ping? 11. Still the lowest in the server.
Some congestion in his area.
Yeah, he's experiencing high latency issues.
Yeah, it's a factor. Alpha Sydney though, just sitting back with those Desert Eagles, making it work as Badger does take down Aries, and they will try and get themselves into ramp room here.
Yeah, Buster holding the line with this Deagle. What can he do? Not much by the looks of things, and Darksided closing it out nice and clean, Jim. Only the scout going down.
Here we go.
And this is the Buster Miracle 1B.
Ding.
Oofed. See you later. He's not about that base.
No. Although it was very flat.
Was. No bullet drop though in CSGO.
That's true.
That's great. One endearing quality about CS that I'll never not appreciate. As Flicks smokes himself off, but we'll get a little bit aggressive against these AKs. Lovely pick out of the hut. Jim, this is what we didn't see SSU do before in their match on Nuke. They didn't really change it up at all, and that's going to be a double spray down there from Sync. And Flicks gets one as well, so threat nullified. Darksided powering over Alpha Sydney in the early stages of this round, and it's all left on Aries to try and manipulate, but he's been spotted out already. And
so aggressive.
They're willing to take the fights, Darksided. That's what we know to be true for this team, and Base picks up his second. 4-1 the score.
I was going to say, they're making it so uncomfortable for Alpha Sydney to even be in T-Lobby at the moment. That's what that aggression does to a team. It makes them sit back for a lot of the round, show up time and wait out aggression just to see whether or not it happens again. So what they've effectively done here is put Alpha Sydney in a mindset where they, if they're going to set up the round like they did just before, they're going to be even more passive just waiting out that sort of aggression. Obviously,
well, it looks
this round's
though,
different.
Yeah, it looks as though the Tech 9 armors are going to come out right again, but the pace has slowed somewhat, so maybe heeding the advice of a more experienced head like Jim and Esso. What a head. Trying to slow down that topside push, but he's going to come in nonetheless. Base and his teammate in Annex are going to be put up against it. Badge wheels, deals, and gets a good angle there on top of the hut. Gets one, gets two. No, Texter's fueling the flames. He ends up getting 3, I believe, Texter with that Molotov kill. MS Swag, baby, chimes in, but it's too little too late. Dark-sided on a roll, Jim. 5-1.
It's just so many S's in that name. There's just so many S's in that name.
Sync, are you talking about?
No. I'm talking about M Swag. Because it's got alpha .s, M Swag Bab.
M Swag Bab.
So I can understand where you're getting the Microsoft reference in.
Sounds like a midnight special at the local kebabery.
The Swag Bab.
Swag Bab. Anyway, I digress. Darksider taking care of business, Jim. 5-1 on their CT side. Looking as though they have a fair concept of the map too. So I think Darksider really putting the work into their CT side. At least they understand not to take the wrong fights at the moment. It is Buster trying to make his way to Ghetto. That's an excellent counter Molotov there to stop that Ghetto progression. It's the first time I've seen that from anyone on Matt Nuke so far that we've watched. But Buster gets around the smoke anyway. Saib will try and... Once again, the counter grenade coming in there to stop Saib's progression in ramp. So excellent work by Darksided. On the flip side, Alpha Sydney getting control of that lower area at the moment on the stairs. And Darksided just waiting it out.
Now, Sydney taking control very, very slowly. And they've actually pushed Bart Texter underneath, and Bass actually picks up the frag onto Buster outside, who had gone into the Ghetto stairs. So now this is very much the advantage to Darksided. They're holding control of Under, and Sync, he's so sharp at the moment. Multi-fragging like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, he's in sync with the game, that's for sure. Demo will try and save out the AK. But maybe successful, maybe not. Don't think that Darksided are too keen on losing their weaponry either. They got a huge financial advantage. But we know how quickly that can be eroded on CT, Jim, by just a couple of bad rounds. So they don't want to give anything away just yet. And Demo try to find the kill, but Flicks able to make his crosshair dance onto the face of Demo Jr. and
Flicks
away he goes. Flicks on fleek, precisely. Texas started strong though, Jim. 12 kills for just 3 deaths. He's really putting them under the pump. 5 assists as well. Mass damage there from Texas. He's been in everything. 17 combined sort of frag. Impact, I guess. I think I just
he's got his finger in every pie.
Does. I think I just combined 2 very separate stats into one thing and made a name for it.
Yeah, you were drawing from the longest
That's what I do, man. I'm a visionary.
Vision is scary.
Base. Nails Demo through the smoke in the face. That was reckless there. But Buster will pick up one. Gets the bink on the second one as well. So there has been some high points here for Buster. Badger doesn't get that one to go either. But right now, Saib has the opportunity to make a play. Oh! Instead, he shoots his teammate. But he does get the kill on Texter. Not expecting him to be there in the end. 2 versus 2. But Flicks has that AK and full health.
And this is dangerous here for Darksided. Mass taking control of ladder. He's going to pop flash out for his teammate, presumably to step first, as the presence has to come from elsewhere. Obviously, they're focused up heaven, but they don't make the crucial frag here, and that's an easy frag for Saib on base, who was not even looking at him. And they will pick up their second round out for Sydney.
Don't know who it was in topside, Jim, but he made an absolute meal of it. He had an AK up in the rafter. Badge. He'll want that one back. Lost his team around there in topside after he lost control of it. Even if he had got the first kill, he would have slowed the progression down enough for his teammates to get in better positions. But as it stood, Saib was able to get right into the bomb site underneath the ladder, put too much pressure on the rotating teammates that he had. So unfortunate there for Badge, but Alpha Sydney pick up a lucky break, to be honest, because they didn't really look like winning around before that one.
Now, Alpha Sydney executing outside, obviously to try and get someone into secret. That's quite clearly their plan, but Sync's here, and he's been such a threat to Alpha Sydney. And he picks up another frag, takes a lot of damage doing so, but most importantly, he brings the numbers in favour of Darksided as they push, or should I say, fall back into position. But this is very much what you talked about last night, that wave sort of defense, getting aggressive and then falling back into passive positions. Flicks picks up nearly a triple.
Oh, Flick's doing heavy-handed work, but Jim, the critical point there was once again the timing on the Molotov that Flicks threw before that. He kept them bottled in ramps for so long that he was able to prepare his crosshair in time, make the adjustment, and almost pick up a triple. Sink now pushed with low HP will find the side of Buster, and his teammates will finish off the rest. 7-2. Darksider looking very strong on their CT side of Nuke, and I'm particularly impressed by the grenade work right now. The timing on the Molotovs, the timing on the counter smokes. It's really good stuff, but particularly the aim here on Flicks, controlling that spray, almost pulling off the third.
He got the big.
Did.
And unfortunately, the rest of the recoil just painted him a nice little halo.
Certainly did.
But we have now Alpha Sydney really trying to force the issue, actually. They've got 4 Tech 9s and that AK on M-Swag just obviously looking to answer. Now, this is interesting. He's got all the grenades and utility, but he's sitting on the roof. So he's going to try and get his teammates into to topside with his utility usage, but not really going to make use of the AK that he's got.
That's okay. He can do what the lurker for Tainted Minds does. The guy who throws the roof stuff, jumps down off the ladder in mid and then watches backs. But this is going pretty well here for Alpha Sydney, but until Badge makes up for lost time last round, picks up a double, and that's the kind of round he needed before to stop the progression going in. The T in an awful position, but Aries ends up taking down Flicks, I believe, so good stuff there from Aries in the end, but Darksider completely shutting the door on that Alpha Sydney push.
Yeah, that door has well and truly been shut, that's for sure. As now, Alpha Sydney going to have to take a bit of a break, take a Kit Kat round, and get their money in order because it's not very good at all. No plants coming through, nothing to stimulate the economy. Forcing into last round didn't help the equation either. And just that single flash on Buster. He's going to try and get himself out ramp. That Molotov's going to do a ton of damage if they commit through that. And Flicks should have a good time mopping up here.
Yeah, Flicks is going to get so much damage for the round, but no.
It's Texter.
Tex just... He's like, my eco... my DPS. Smashes him. What's he on now? At least 20? Is he on 20 yet?
He's close.
18, 5, and 5. Yeah, he's absolutely wrecking. Sink, as you keep bringing him up, I feel as though Tex has had more of those rounds we've just seen. Flicks has had a couple, but Sink has been that guy every round to get the first kill with a rifle.
He gets that pick and then he falls back.
He's been playing a great half of Counter-Strike so far, Jim. And you've mentioned him a fair few times.
Just a few cheeky
for good reason, too.
He's certainly been putting up obviously not as good a numbers,
Whoa.
but this is working so well for Darksider. What they're doing effectively is making Alpha Sydney very, very cautious about taking territory in these key areas. If they contest, topside.
I know we're only 9-2 into a game, Jim, but I can confidently say right now that if I'm another team in Australia, I'm vetoing Nuke against Darksider immediately. Like, you do not let them get through. They have a set play for an AWP push in hut. They have a set play for an AWP push in ramps. The AWP's been outside as well. They've had multiple rounds outside where they've put pressure on. They've also shown the ability to fall back into the bomb site away from Alpha Sydney. So they've got it going on. They know exactly how the map's supposed to be played, and they've put in significant effort into the map compared to others that we've seen. You can see Flicks and Sink just combining in good, solid crossfires late in the round to pick up a lot of frags, and you know, Alpha Sydney don't even look like getting around. Had Badge not missed in topside, they'd be looking 11-1 right now.
It is looking quite dire for Alpha Sydney at the moment. Whilst they do have some set execute strategy, it's mainly reliant on that outside area. I don't really have anything set for topside unless it's physically opening the squeaky door, grenading it open, and just throwing a smoke in to the annex. They really haven't looked like they've got too much more in the tank, but they're going to try and hit outside here. Base needs to be careful he doesn't get isolated, but he's got Sink to support him. Now Sink needs to readjust there. Can't take the aggressive angle because they get that catwalk going. And Sink, again, the multi-fragging on him has been fantastic.
It certainly has, and he's picked his angles well, as has Base. We've seen him, as I said, he's picked outside, he's picked hut, he's picked ramps. You know, he's been all over the shop. He's clearly hitting shots, and Darksider look really, really solid on their CT side. That's what you want to see. Sink, who's the I guess, the unders player from that staircase, which is the main point of engagement for Alpha Sydney, and ramps. Texter on 20 kills, Sync on 16 kills. So the main 2 points of engagement, Jim, you have dominant players, and then the rest are just easily picking up frags at their choke points.
Yeah, Sync's either playing outside through the annex or playing the long game through the secret area, but change of tactics here from Alpha Sydney. They're going to just try and out-and-out pick their opposition. Buster obviously on that AWP, boosted into position, looking to see if they can get anyone overextending in the warehouse, but I actually haven't seen Sync play in that position at all, to be fair. The last time he did, he was 1 beat.
Yep.
By Buster, so he learnt pretty quickly.
He did, and this is really good for Darksider, Jim. This is, what I always tell anyone for advice, especially on Nuke. You need to make sure that the other team can execute onto the bomb site and beat you before you give them the aggressive stuff. Darksider had started with a bit of aggressive stuff, but now they know. Alpha Sydney don't have any executes. There's nothing to push them out of. We're not working them out of some intricate default. We're waiting for them to walk into our crosshairs, and that's exactly what's happening right now. Darksider just playing the patience game and saying, like, look, we know you don't have an execute good enough to beat us, so come at us, really.
Oh, needs to be careful he didn't cross over to the left side of that angle. That's great work. Great awareness, too, from base with that AWP. As they're going to try and get Buster going to find a reply here because they are still a man down, and they're going to try and take ramps in the meantime. Fix is on point. The amount of TKs I've seen actually in this match is alarming.
I guarantee you they would have said one close annex as he ran back through because there was someone on the other side of the wall annex. But look, Jim, I mean, Darksider are just picking them to pieces right now. They're not even looking like they can get into this top side. Dimo does get a frag, but Badger's still so solid up there in top side. He's got 2 teammates left over. Swag is going to go huge, but he can't do enough. Badge and Base left in a 2 versus 1. Will this be the moment that Buster proves me to be a prophet? Or will he just get simply 1 beat? Simply 1 beat is the answer. Badge picks up a tray, and Darksider continue to dominate Alpha Sydney on the CT side of Nuke.
And we've just got word that one of the other matches, obviously there's a few matches being played here by on the same night for ESEA. That's just how it works. But Atletico Academy have taken Corvidae to overtime, obviously on Nuke as well.
Who's the new Corvidae roster?
It's the X-Trident roster, so it's Blackout.
Oh, yep, perfect.
Mitch,
yep,
those guys.
Great. It's an interesting game. We'll see who comes out of that one. Would have picked biasly at the start on that, obviously, but whatever.
Don't be that guy.
I won't be that guy. Sync. He's that guy right now for his side. Oh my goodness, no, side. Oh, Sync, that's huge! Quad kill for Sync. Spam that P250, son. Get the TD. Dimo Jr. picks up 1. Sync will wheel around and try and make it work. He gets the bink. He doesn't even know it. He's popped Dimo Jr. with a bink, and he won't get the team down. But, wow. Sync here, you can see, oh my goodness, no. No.
Oh dear.
No.
That's ridiculous. And that's how the half has been panning out so far for Alpha Sydney. And Darksider with a very dominant CT side. Now go on to that T side, so I couldn't place a greater importance on this pistol if I tried.
No, but it doesn't, maybe not live? Not live.
No, they wouldn't have Colts in... Oh, goodness. They wouldn't have Colts in this round, Peter. But Alpha Sydney, clearly not comfortable playing this map. Darksider, on the other hand, as you said, I wouldn't be surprised to see teams vetoing it against them.
Oh, I would definitely be vetoing. It's not just the fact that it's Alpha Sydney. They don't really have much on Nuke, fair enough. I think that this matchup would go differently on another map. Probably still Darksided's way, but a lot closer. But when you really look at what they did and how they did it, Jim, there was preparation in their outside defense, preparation on their underside defense. They weren't overcommitting to picks. Their rotations were good. Their teamwork was good. Their understanding of pushing and pulling on the different sides of the map on CT side, very, very good. So it's not just a matter of their opponent tonight. They played a very strong CT side.
I think you're right with that one, but Darksided just breaking the vents out in T lobby. And that may give Alpha Sydney the impression that something's going to occur in topside. It might just be some mind games. We're yet to find out because most of Darksided are going to be grouping up towards ramp. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a fake here. And they are going to hit that ramps. And that's going to force Saib to rotate for his life under and take up a better position here now. Does take the first frag. Out in the open though, takes a second. He will be traded. Yes, they eventually get him. Texter also finds, or should I say Badge also finds another frag. They've got aggressive as well, and they needed to. They can cut off the choke point here in the vent, and that is so sharp from Badge. Picking up the triple, just one left, and that is, easy as you like it, around to Darksided. I like that topside fake.
Yeah, look. It's just nightmarish when a T player gets in vents on the pistol round. That shot is so hard for the CT coming back through the vents to clear it out because the T-side player is just waiting in the wings, and as soon as they hear the noise, they just pre-fire the angle, and there's just no way of getting around it for the CT player. So you feel for the Alpha Sydney boys trying to get back through the vent, but at the same time, Darksided. Overwhelming ramps, pushing Cybunder, who did a pretty good job, actually. Picked up a double.
Yeah.
But
couldn't get through the door.
But, yeah, ran out of ammo, couldn't get through the door, and, yeah, cost his team in the end, but shouldn't be too much contributed to his part in the Aries not able to make the connect on the CZ.
What the drop of his opposition there is, I don't think Base was too sure where he was being shot from. Slash, only had a UMP, couldn't really make that range battle work.
Man, Buster picking up the 1B on flicks.
The Factor. I'm going to refer to him as the Factor.
Well, I mean, he didn't turn out to be a factor, did he? Turned out to be a very big non-factor. But we'll see. Game's not over yet, Jim. 14-2. Alpha Sydney.
A bit of fear factor.
He could be. Badge here. Nice open angle there onto Dimo Jr. And MS Swag Baby, though, is going to punish them around the smoke. And this could be very, very dangerous. But Base able to trade it nicely. So 2 versus 3 now. But the smokes are refreshed. And Side picks up the bomb in the hut. But he has going to be drawn back into the Molotov by Sync. And it's going to be all on Buster, the playmaker. What can he do? Is he going to go for the bomb planter? No. The Factor. Base, watching the smoke.
They haven't spotted him out, but takes that angle, takes that duel. The Factor takes that 1 versus 2. We'll pick up the...
He's so online.
He's going to be so salty when he hears this too.
I know.
Love you, Steve.
I actually do. Steve's a great bloke.
He's top bloke, but
this is top class cheek. Me calling him online. Can't defend himself. He's in the server playing his hardest, using his 4.5 ping to his most possible advantage. It's not his fault. He lives in the server. I'm not ripping on him. It's just yeah. Well done. Scores are broken though, so for anyone who's tuning in, the ESEA scores have been broken for quite some time. So
Dino is not on a solid nut.
Yeah, Sync does not have 1 for 10.
We do have another buy round coming out though for Alpha Sydney, of course, with minimal utility on some players. As now, Darkside are going to try and get themselves outside. I don't know if they've got eyes on it. I think Buster's actually the one tasked with watching that. This is a cheeky line from them, Swag. Against his former teammates. Let's take down 2. Using that door quite well to hide. And Molotov, Dimo, just sacking the bomb planter. They're holding quite well at the moment, even in broken play. Alpha Sydney have done enough to prevent the plant. They do have it down. And well, a lot to do for Badge here, who is a long way away from the action. He's actually up heaven.
Yeah, he could make a play here, though, by the time the round's over. There's a minute left, and he's going to see an opponent. He fires away. The jig is up.
Yep.
Who's he battling?
I don't know. He keeps jigging, though.
I think it's Dimo with a shotgun or a pistol of his own.
Yeah, Dimo with it.
Oh, yes.
He was battling Dimo, who eventually changed to his pistol.
No, he could have been using his pistol all along. That thing had 20 bullets. Who knows?
I don't know, but it was intense.
It was intense. It was an intense strafe duel. Dimo wins. Darksided now onto the AKs. Let's see what they got on their T side. No Molotovs though, Jim, so won't be anything too intricate here. But even still, 3 smokes. Not a lot to play with. A bevy of flashes, but we all know how long they sort of last there. Very much just to fake around different parts of the map and enter the bomb sites late. But right now, Alpha Sydney not really upgrading, which is surprising.
Taking a different approach here, Darksided, to what many teams have done. That's a nice ramp span, by the way. You can actually span through the wall at ramps. I need to take caution when taking outside, and can't let M-Swag get that line onto the man up on silo. But they're taking a very different approach in the sense that they're not sending great numbers outside Dark-Sided. They're very much relying on just individuals, much like Tainted did. They only had one person outside in that instance. And now, obviously, Sink has rotated outside. Side finds a frag at ramps here, and they don't actually have any eyes outside at all, Alpha Sydney.
No, but hopefully they have someone watching the top side from Annex, and I think Buster's going to get aggressive onto ramps in just a second. Sink picks up one, picks up two. The double fragging beast continues his good work. Buster's actually got on the other side of a smoke, and this could be deadly, but he's fired the AK away and given himself and his spot away. Badge has got himself into topside as well, so this has gone topsy-turvy here for Alpha Sydney. A couple of frags there by Sink, and all of a sudden, Alpha Sydney thrown well out of rhythm, and now they're going to have to retake this in a 3 versus 3.
Post-play positioning for Dark-Sided has one watching T-Lobby, and the rest in topside. So he's actually gone and peeked out Squeaky there. Tried to watch the Annex. Sink goes down, and now he's a 3. Make that a 2 versus 1 here. They do eventually take down Texter, though.
The Factor.
The Factor.
Chiming in again.
And successful retake there for Alpha Sydney. Just take the kit.
That's to save themselves 400 beans. Which is vital at this point of the game.
He's growing his oak.
He certainly is.
I haven't fully sold out.
Yeah, you have. In like 07.
Yeah.
In like 07.
Yeah, I sold out in 07.
Yeah. It's fine.
Doing it all for the pro gamer free mouse pad.
Yeah, that's right.
No, legit. I actually work for a company called Pro Gamer.
Yeah, no, you sponsored us. Like Athletico V1.
Yeah.
Circa 2004.
I feel like deja vu.
Actually, yeah, it's a good point. We've really not gone anywhere, have we? 14-5.
Alpha
for
Sydney.
The Dark-Sided boys, but Alpha Sydney.
Just using their utility.
So burning their utility, they didn't really get anything out of that, I guess.
Yeah.
They've got a couple of Molotovs and a couple of smokes still in possession, so not too bad. Dimo's going to sit on top of that squeaky door with the SMG, which is good to go, but a couple of those guys have head armor, and the... It's a misthrown flash there from Buster, but topside hit is on. Flix runs through. Can he get anything there? Finds Buster through the smoke, but it will be Aries, I think, spraying away and finding the double in the end. Maybe the triple. Yeah, he gets it. So good stuff there from Aries, but still messy from Alpha Sydney. Flix getting the one through the smoke, and Aries, we didn't get his first kill there, but transfers nicely. At the end of the day, though, yeah, still messy for Alpha Sydney.
I was going to say, that ended up being a really messy round for Alpha Sydney, losing 3 members, and that's never good for a CT economy. That being said, they've still got plenty in the tank for themselves, so it's not exactly going to be an easy road for Dark-Sided here. They look so strong in the first half, just hitting a speed bump in the second half on that T side.
I think they're giving Alpha Sydney way too much respect. In the first half, they were just getting what they wanted. They were manoeuvring the AWP, they were changing it up. I think they're just sort of like, yeah, giving Alpha Sydney the benefit of the doubt here that they can play CT side.
Yeah, I don't know about that play from Text either, just straight walking into Squeaky. It's ballsy. But too many angles to cover, particularly without the guys of flashes or smokes to narrow their angles that you have to check down.
Yeah, definitely.
Or at least give you the jump on your opposition.
Sometimes, though, if you know that the player's been holding on top of Hut a lot, you can timing got him and walk out underneath the squeaky door and get around. Because of the way that the Hut boxes are now, you can actually get out and around, but obviously not the case there for Tex at that time. Side, nice use of the Molotov there, slowing the progression down. Alpha Sydney starting to work their way back into their CT side. A long way to go, obviously, but they're making steps towards it by at least setting up, getting the opening pick, and now waiting for Dark-Sided to respond.
Flash into top side. Not going to push on it, though. Dark-Sided. Oh, bad. Just getting cut down by Dimo quite quickly, too. Can't line up his Molotov because he took an AWP to the knee.
Yeah, it's not going to be good here for the T side. Sink spraying away, but he's going to get pushed on very, very shortly. Ooh. Sink's very, very sharp, though. Sydney need to be a little bit careful, even though their money's good. They don't want to give away too many guns. And I think Dark-Sided will definitely lose the round, but Sink should be able to escape with his gun intact.
We'll be able to do so, and you can see Dark-Sided at the moment probably not going to buy into this round to support him. I mean, if I was Sink, I'd be asking them to. But, yeah, we've got some news from our on-field reporter.
TJ Bird in the sky.
TJ Bird in the sky, in the Goodyear blimp.
Correct.
Corvidae Atletico Academy going into that second set of OT.
Wow, either team, no matter who it is going to be heartbreaking when you lose that double OT. Right now, Dark-Sided trying to get back on the front foot. They're pearling. That will mean only very little to a very few number of people. They're going outside the top side, and it will be Texter finding the range with that Techers, and Badge finishes him off. Sink wheeling around, getting the first headshot into Dimo. Could it be a second? Oh my goodness, lots of damage, and Texter originally with the damage on a Sink, and this is just being destroyed here for Alpha Sydney. That was nightmarish.
The Factor.
Buster gets the bomb. The Factor. Could he be Bacta? Don't think so.
Back to back
The Factor. No way. Could he be the back to Factor, actually?
That's not the way to react. No, he smoked off that bomb, and he's given him the illusion that he's actually still got eyes over it. Changed his position completely here, Buster, so he's factored that out. And
he's factored that out and himself back into the round.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
Oh, he's been
They
spotted.
spot him.
Game over.
Factor needs to get on his tractor.
He gave it a fair cracker.
Any other previous statement, I retract her.
Came back up the vent, got sacked her.
I was going to say, I feel as though that lacked a bit of enthusiasm.
Fair enough. Pun's dead.
Yeah, we flogged that one.
We grilled that one. We grilled that one. 7-15. Alpha Sydney looking to come back, but losing that nightmarish round to Tech 9s. But not to mention, Sink outside with that AK. That double was insane.
Yeah.
And, oh, Badge. Nice
Oh,
looking peek there from the squeaky door. And
double molly. They don't stack, gents.
Dark-Sided now just working towards topside. Side's got the flank, but he's not connected the frag. I'm not sure if the T spotted him, but he's got the bomb now. 2 versus 1. Sybe has the bomb in front of him. This is for the game. Can Sybe pull this one out of the fire for his roster? It's the spam goes out. Oh no,
that's so cheeky.
Bomb. That's cheese. That's shot clock cheese right there. As the bomb gets picked up by Flicks. The door flicked shut, and Sybe should be taken out here through the vent. No. Oh, this is getting a little bit hairy here for the T's, because Sybe could get this one. No, he doesn't. Sink, who has been on point all game, delivers at the end of the round, and the map will go to Dark-Sided. Fantastic performance from them, particularly on the CT side of things, Jim. T-side, they let it drift off a little bit, but still a commanding victory compared to the other games of Nuke we've seen, which have drawn right out to the end and have been sloppy on both sides. Dark-Side at least delivering us a really quality CT side.
Yeah, that one bled out, as you said, a little bit, but in the end they were able to just reel it back in. Went back to what was working with their CT side, which was a lot of aggression. They tried that on their T side.
Yep.
Obviously focused on the right areas and were able to come away with the win. So Alpha Sydney don't succeed there, and it is a case of the new guard being a bit better than the old guard.
Substantially better.
But that
proof's in the pudding.
Yeah, that is case in point. As we said, we'll be trying to cover as much of the ESEA season as we possibly can here on PGTV. So expect to see more as the season progresses, but I think that is it for this evening's matches.
Yeah, we certainly do have some more coming up tomorrow night, potentially, depending on who's playing. We're not sort of scheduling the matches whatsoever. They're scheduled on ESEA and we're just covering them.
We're just sliding.
If you'd like... You guys out there would like us to cast particular games, hit us up on Twitter at any point in the day, and we'll see if we can get on the games that everyone wants to see, because we're just arbitrarily commentating them all as the season progresses and getting our teeth stuck back into Oz CS.
We may do one tomorrow evening. I'm looking at the schedule there, and there's Legacy up against Avant-Garde. So
that should be a decent game.
Be a decent game.
Might do that one tomorrow night and see what else we can see. Maybe more games will be scheduled, don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, though, I think that for this evening, we have done just about enough talking. I am PDG, beside me, the Deep Gym Pact himself. On the decks tonight, Balarama, TJ Bird working the graphics desk.
In the sky.
Guys, you've been fantastic. We'll see you tomorrow night.